If you're struggling to adapt to the changes in Warzone Season 3, or you're a new player returning to the game but you want to get better, I'm going to help you do so by breaking down a 20+ kill gameplay that had quite an epic clutch at the end. So one of the biggest factors to improving at Warzone is your game sense or your decision making. And in my opinion, one of the best ways to do so in improving that is to challenge yourself by playing outnumbered in modes like solo versus duos or even solo versus quads. And even if you play mostly Battle Royale, you can try it in there, but Resurgence tends to be much better because it's more forgiving with respawns and we just get more reps in. So I'm landing in here at Control Center. It's a very hot drop. If you want to get reps in and getting a lot of close quarters gunfights, Control Center is probably the best option. When I'm landing in, my first thoughts are I need to get just some decent ground loot guns here. So I've got a PPSH, got an AR, and we're just gonna kind of rock with what we have. I know there's a lot of people around me. I'm hearing lots of gunfire, and I'm just trying to kind of keep looting here. Goal number 2 when I'm landing in is also that I want to start getting to my loadout money to $6,000. And I've actually gotten surprisingly a lot of loot very early here. So I actually already have 6K to buy loadout and solos. Now, as these first people come in here, one of the most simple things that we have to prioritize doing is going to be good centering. So as soon as I see someone come through this door, I instantly center my aim to the doorway, and I kind of keep my aim focused there. Because that way I have an idea that this guy came in, this first one came in and he was down. So obviously somebody had to have downed him out here. So I'm keeping my aim centered there so that if someone else comes in, all I have to do is aim my gun in and I don't have to adjust my aim. That's probably one of the biggest things that you can quickly improve your gameplay if you're a newer player or you're coming back, is that good centering where you have that center dot at chest level and we're always putting it where enemies are most likely to be. So I've quickly went and got a loadout and put it down. And my goal is as soon as I can get loadout, now I can start getting after it and kind of start fighting some other teams. I'm going with a AMAX KSV combo here. And as soon as I get my loadout, I'm getting shot at. You're going to see a ping out here by the road. So I immediately am disengaging and I am trying to plate up behind cover. You never want to try to take a fight that you're not fully plated or kind of fully situated to get into. Now I'm hearing shots and footsteps right outside the door. I also am getting pings out here. So I know somebody's outside this door and got someone down there, almost able to get him down. But with the precision airstrike, I quickly get back in. We move up through another route through the building. Again, notice the centering. My aim is always kind of right at that doorway. A little bit of a kind of a lag there in the recording here. So I'm going to go back for a moment. Also, notice how as I come through that doorway, I'm sliding through the doorway and I'm starting to aim. One of the most basic movement techniques that you can do is as you're coming around corners, through doors, you want to start to slide and start to aim during that so that you're prepared and that you're going to get the jump. Now, it lags a little bit here, but I very quickly notice that there's a guy above, and thankfully I'm just able to hit better shots here. Now you're going to see a lot, there's like 3 red dots, and I believe all of these are on my level. So if you're new to the game, when a red dot appears on the minimap, if there is just a solid dot, that means they're on your level vertically. If there's an up arrow, they're above you. If they're a arrow pointing down, they're below you. So I know that there's a guy up here to my left and 2 to my right. And I'm trying to get plated up here, and oh my gosh, there is like all 3 of those guys. I just don't have time to get out of there. And that's just one of those fights that sometimes you're gonna come across teams that are playing very together, and you're just gonna lose those fights. If I would have had a little bit more time, I would have recognized that there were 3 people in very close quarters to each other, and I would have tried to disengage and completely get away from that fight because I know that'd be a losing fight. Now I'm gonna float around for a little bit, and one of the big things is, especially when you're playing Resurgence, is we don't wanna just go back and land on our loot where we died. Unless your teammates are there and you know the area is safe, landing back where you died is almost a for sure way to just go in and wipe and get sent back to the lobby. So I'm gonna land off at living quarters where it didn't seem like there were too many people, but I'm gonna quickly start hearing some people around me. So I start looking. I've got decent guns. I've got a ground loot C9 and a ground loot Kilo. I'm hearing a lot of things. I'm kind of unsure. I'm kind of stepping back, trying to just play slow here. And one of the things I want to emphasize here is that when you hear people around you, you don't have to go actively push them. It's perfectly fine to get close into the action and then kind of wait, especially with how fast this time to kill is. They've made the time to kill faster in this game, and so often whoever shoots first and gets the jump is usually the one that's gonna win. Now, as soon as I get this kill here, I'm gonna immediately look to the minimap because in Resurgence, when we get kills, we get minimap pings before Resurgence is disabled. I've got a ping that appears right above me, and I've got another one kind of next to me in the building over, and then their 3rd teammate is pretty far away. This is why I immediately look up and I'm trying to see if this teammate kind of up in the window. Is he on the roof? I'm not sure. We're gonna get plated back up. And I'm gonna start moving on over to the next enemy when I hear footsteps here. And notice how I am just keeping my aim centered kind of in the general direction that I'm hearing audio cues. Now, again, eyes go to the minimap. We got a solid dot on kind of each side of us here. So I need to kind of pick a fight here between one of these because I don't want to wait and have these guys kind of converge and 1v2 me. So as soon as I get plated up and get reloaded, I'm going to go pick the fight that is closest to me. I'm having good centering. I'm sliding through doors. And bam, this looks very suspicious. Someone might be like, oh my gosh, how'd you know he's there? He's hacking. But just because of information, because of footsteps, I'm pre-aiming and I'm assuming someone's going to be there around every corner. And eventually I pick right. He's there. I get first shot. So I win the gunfight. Again, after every gunfight, notice how we're getting replated. We're getting reloaded. And I am kind of assessing the situation here from cover. Now I notice there is a loadout down next to me. And although I never want to be a loadout camper, this is also a perfect opportunity to maybe pick up a free kill. So this guy tries to kind of grab it. And unfortunately, I'm a little bit too late in getting the shots down. But I'm gonna go ahead and push up and keep the pressure on them. I'm gonna work from high ground here though. So I'm gonna go to the roof, gonna turn around, and this guy is shooting someone else. So I'm able to pick up a quick kill. Again, eyes go to the minimap. We have a lot of arrows. We've got 2 down arrows and 1 up arrow. So this up arrow obviously means he's floating in. So I'm gonna lay down so that way I'm kind of out of the way. And I could start shooting this person, but there is spawn protection. So if I were to start shooting him when he's too high in the air, I'm probably not going to get that kill. So my thought here was, let's wait for him to get a little bit closer to the ground, and maybe I can kind of fry him really quickly before he's able to land. Unfortunately, he pulls his chute very close to the ground, and it can't quite get him down before he gets behind that wall. Now, I start kind of getting shot by multiple people here, and the guys that I was able to down on the roof, he was getting shot in the back, which is why he was so weak. So thankfully, I'm able to get him. I'm getting shot from multiple areas, so my goal was let's just get away here, played up, but I didn't realize that there was a guy chasing me, and I'm getting shot in the back. So I don't know if you recognize that when I went down here, there actually is a sniper up top of Nova who was looking at me. I did not recognize this in the moment. Bam, I get sniped from him, losing all of my plates. So by the time I go to challenge this guy, I basically am very low health. I just don't have a chance of winning that. So that's just another unfortunate situation. So I've already died 2 times in this game, but like I said, I'm still gonna end up dropping over 20 kills in the win. And what I wanna emphasize is you don't have to have perfect games. Sometimes things are out of your control. So you don't need to get super frustrated and get super mad when these things happen. Just accept, you know, maybe could I have played that better? Absolutely. Could I have recognized there was a sniper there, maybe kept rotating? Absolutely. But sometimes things are just out of your control. Now, because I was able to get a loadout early in game, I'm able to land back on my public loadout. And so same for Verdansk is very important. Now, I clearly hear someone landing in, so I assume he's going to the loadout over here. When I kind of hear him running away, gonna chase him, gonna keep the pressure on him, get the armor crack, and we're gonna go ahead and finish up and get that kill.
Like,
now,
oh my God, this thing is terrible as well.
This guy was very upset. He's got the double no stock SMG loadout, so obviously some TikTok YY person. But what I want to point out here is chasing. Be very careful when doing this, and there was a reason where I felt confident that I could keep chasing. So here, I get a few solid shots on him. We don't break his armor. I slide, and I'm starting to pre-aim as I slide. Bam, now I've already cracked his armor at this point. So at this point, I am not full health, but I'm pretty close because I never had a plate since I landed back in. I know he has no armor, so I'm going to keep the pressure on. I'm not going to allow him to plate up. But if this was a situation where he had a longer way to get away and played up, you need to be very careful because if you can chase someone long enough, they can get plated up as they go, and then bam, they can turn around and they can very easily win that fight. But again, we have good centering, good basic movement with sliding around corners and pre-aiming. We're able to easily win this gunfight. Again, we get plated back up. A little bit of a lag there. Now I've got a ping kind of very close to me because this guy is shooting an unsuppressed weapon. So we're gonna go look for that, look for where this guy is. Don't really see him because he's just over the hill. So we're gonna jump forward. Now I was able to very quickly recognize and turn left there. That might look a little bit suspicious or something, but the reason for that was very simple. I clearly heard audio to my left, so I looked that way and there was a guy close to me. In this kill, I immediately look left because I hear the audio. Now I didn't realize this at the time, but there was a second enemy back here closer to Grandma's. I get this kill, and I am able to use my throwing knife to get my finish, but In hindsight, what I should have done was avoided the throwing knife and immediately stemmed, since there was another guy behind me, and tried to get away. That is the problem, or one of the downsides to this fast TTK, is that you are just going to get killed very, very quickly by good players if you are caught out in the open. So I've died 3 times at this point. Again, we're at 10 kills. We're not having a bad game, but I've died 3 times. Now I'm a little unsure where to go at this point. I'm gonna float around. I don't wanna land back where I went already. And instead, I'm gonna try to find somewhere completely kind of out in the open, and I'm gonna loot because I had 4K, so I only need a little bit more money until I can get loadout. Just wanna say, guys, if you are finding the video helpful so far, please consider subscribing for more content just like this. And after looting for a little bit, I found some money. I'm able to get a loadout down. Now, after a little bit more looting, I've worked up to control. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a bounty because that's basically free information on the minimap of where a team is. And then I'm waiting intentionally by the buy here because in Resurgence at the 3rd circle, there's a fire sale every time. So this allows me to buy a UAV. I already had a precision airstrike that I had looted. Now I have information on where people are. So now I can tell that there are a ton of people up by the kind of headquarters prison area. So now I know kind of which direction I want to go if my goal is to get high kills. So we're going to work up here. Now, very important here is I'm going to work up here. I slow down here. The reason I look this way is there's a guy pinging in the gas here on the minimap, trying to see if he's coming out of gas late or something like that. Gonna see a guy landing in, and I'm gonna get an assist here. I don't end up getting this kill myself. But notice how I am kind of playing behind this little half wall hill here, and I'm not just standing in the open. If somebody were to shoot me, I could easily crouch behind that hill. Now, eventually I need to make a decision, hey, I need to move up. I'm hearing kind of some footsteps around me, which is why I keep kind of turning back and centering on the doors. Again, notice the very simple slide and pre-aim through the door. Even though nobody's there, we're gonna pretend and be ready that someone is, because again, with this fast CTK, it's all about being ready. When I hear someone behind me, now I see this guy has a sniper, and I'm gonna do a very simple kind of ego reach out here. Now he runs away too, but because he had a sniper, I can basically read this guy like a book, and I know he's gonna re-peek here. So I'm gonna just keep aimed right at that door, right at that corner, and as soon as he comes out, I'm gonna keep shooting at him. Snipers do have a good amount of flinch in this game, which is one of the few things that kind of balances them. And so that as long as I get shots on before him, the chances of him landing a shot on me are very, very low. Now I could go chase that. I hear footsteps here, which is why I challenge this out. Again, when you hear footsteps, you need to just always kind of assume, even if you don't hear footsteps, kind of just always be assuming and being ready and kind of sliding into these shots. You don't need crazy, insane movement or a crazy fast sense. Now, after I got that kill, I got minimap pings, and there is a solid dot back on my level, back the other way I came from. So notice how I'm gonna get plated up, I'm gonna get all situated, and I'm gonna slide laterally out and pre-aim as I do. That happened to be the sniper from earlier. He happened to never have plated up, which allows me to get an easy kill. I've got a bunch of pings below me. I've got 3 pings below me and 1 above me over here. So I know these guys are down below me in like the tunnel showers area. I could go down there and try to fight, but remember, I am playing by myself, so I need to be very careful how I choose these fights. I can't just barrel in like a madman and expect to win these fights. My whole goal in this is to try to isolate fights as much as possible. So I am gonna work over this way, and I'm gonna see if anyone is kind of out here lacking. When I hear some footsteps and I hear a guy who is running out by himself. Now this time we use a little bit of a jump kind of G slide here. This is a pretty simple move to learn. So we slide around the corner. I see this guy who's running away. So I'm gonna jump, hit my slide button in the air as I aim in, and what that's gonna do is as soon as I land, I'm gonna keep sliding. So jump, slide, we slide in, and again, the whole thing is that you're already aiming and you're centering your aim towards where an enemy is, allowing you to get first shots. This is that same guy who's running that kind of double YY TikTok loadout. Not doing too well, I think he's a little frustrated. So now I'm gonna work back over to showers, and because I know that there were people pinging over here, but I'm very hesitant to go down there. Because if there are multiple people down there, it's gonna be rough. I'd much rather play from high ground at this point, which I can clearly see someone is pinging up here who's shooting an unsuppressed weapon. So notice how I'm playing very slow. I get it down as I'm pre-aiming that. And at this point though, there are a lot of dots pinging right over here. So if I just run up here kind of guns blazing, the chances of me going down are again very high. So again, I'm gonna take use of my precision airstrike because these guys were all pinging above me. So if they're up on the roof, there's a good chance. Now, as that guy comes out, I very quickly get to cover. Let me break this down here because there's a reason why I kind of do what I do here. So we get the down, we call the PA. This guy comes out. I'm in the middle of a reload, so obviously I'm not ready to take this fight. Now you can cancel a reload by quickly hitting your change weapon. So Y on Xbox or triangle on PlayStation if you hit it twice, so Y. So I do that and I get to cover and I try to re-challenge with my other gun. By here, he's already moved to the left, which I recognize that. However, I miss a bunch of shots and he quickly breaks my armor. So because I've recognized that he's got the advantage in this fight, I'm going to try to reset this fight. We pop a stim to get away for a little bit of a speed boost, and we're going to just kind of get away, close the gap, and plate up. Now, I just downed 2 people with my precision airstrike, and I'm going to actually get a third. So this was a beautiful precision airstrike, and this is one of the benefits of them this season, is since they took away that notification on the minimap, you are much more likely to get precision airstrike kills. So they're very, very valuable. So I'm going to get one of my finishes. Now I also see there is a solid red dot on my left, kind of on the outside of this building. And from map awareness, I know he has to be on the scaffolding that's right outside of prison, which is why as I come around the corner here, I'm going to kind of do a quick check there. Now I pushed up in here because I clearly heard a self-revive. So when that self-revive goes off, obviously I know somebody's in there. If I hear it, kind of slide through. This guy's in the corner. Thankfully, he's not fully plated by the time I get there. Now I go out and check over here because this is where that guy pinged a moment earlier. Don't see anyone, so we work back in. There's a PA obviously, so I'm kind of waiting for that PA to clear. Always want to just stay inside or really run far away as soon as you get a noti. I'm hearing people land back in as well. I'm just kind of playing safe here because again, I know there's still a bunch of people above me. I'm hearing lots of footsteps, lots of gunfire. I don't want to put myself out in a situation where I am in the middle of multiple people here. So I hear them shooting, so I'm like, you know what? Let me see if I can sneak up here and kind of get a quick cheeky kill. So we aim walk up. Now there's a guy floating right in front of me. I could take shots here, but based off where he is, if he cuts his shoot here soon, I'm probably not going to get this knock before he kind of gets behind cover. And then I'm going to alert everyone else of where I am. So I play patient. I hear the guy right next to me shooting, so I turn. There he is. We get the kill, get the quick finish. Now I'm instantly getting shot in the back. My health is very, very low. So I'm going to immediately pop a stim, get my heals back up, give me a bit of a speed boost as I run and plate away. Very important thing that you can run and plate at the same time and create distance. Very, very important because now this fight, we are back to kind of a 50-50 fight. I'm full health and now we can kind of get back after it. So get the quick finish, immediately stim as I get shot, start plating as I'm running away, start looking back to see if this guy's chasing me. He chases through the window. Simple little slide, and we're able to win that gunfight. One other small thing that I do here that I want to point out. So I see this guy through here. Now, one thing to know is if you're a controller player, when you aim through these railings, you will lose your aim assist. So I know this from experience. So I'm intentionally trying to get outside of these railings and start pre-aiming kind of in that opening. I'm able to just barely win that gunfight. Again, we immediately get plated up, get reloaded. I'm going to use my armor box because I'm low. Now I got to get moving because of the zone here. I'm also going to end up looting a munitions vest, which is going to come in very, very handy here. These allow you to carry 3 tacticals and lethals. Still hearing people out kind of above me, around me. So I'm just going to wait a little bit and I'm going to kind of take a rotation because there's shooting out here in the courtyard. A guy just bought back over here. And again, could I just try to rotate straight to zone and try to win this? Yes, but there are clearly multiple people in the courtyard area. And with this fast CTK, you just cannot risk fighting multiple people at once. You have to break down and isolate your fights to 1v1s. Could I have taken shots there at that guy in courtyard? Yes. Or I could play it safer and I could rotate around and get to a better position because now I'm not fighting zone. Because if that guy would have turned around, hit good shots on me, now I'm stuck in zone, I'm forced to rotate to him and I could have died here. So I'm looking back trying to see if I can get anyone. I don't see anyone. I'm hearing people landing in. I'm also hearing people up above me. So now I have a decision to make. Do I go forward and I fight back this way or do I just keep going? I make the decision that I'm going to go down to the right because I can be much more isolated and away from multiple angles. If I push this way, I'm going to have a lot of different people that are going to have angles on shooting on me. And I saw this guy just landed here. This should be an easy kill because this guy's landing back in after getting bought back in. Get that kill. Now I hear that parachute kind of cut nearby. So I start to aim my gun near this window. I know it looks a little bit sus. Ends up being kind of good timing. This guy obviously runs away though. Now I could go try to chase him, but that's going to be very risky because my bounty's up here behind me. And I know there's definitely people out towards where zone already is. So I'd be kind of sandwiching myself between multiple teams. So I'm like, you know what? Nope. We're going to play this smart. We're going to reload and I'm going to sit my happy butt in a corner here. Obviously, I don't like to play like this regularly, but in the end game, when you're playing by yourself, you kind of have to really slow down once Resurgence is disabled or like once Gulag is disabled in Battle Royale. Trying to get a kill on this guy. Now, the problem is I'm hearing footsteps up here and this guy is plating and working around the cover of the shed. So if I try to push up, it's gonna be very risky because I could get third party from the back when I get precision airstrike. So we're gonna run behind cover. Again, we're just gonna sit it out and wait inside. With precisions, if you get a cluster or a precision nodie, like run away as far as possible and ideally get somewhere inside where they can't hit you if possible. So my bounty gets poached, which then tells me, okay, it is a 1v3. So my bounty I knew was up here, which tells me most likely the last team is up ahead near the buy station. So it's a 1v3 for the win at this point. So I'm trying to get an angle, trying to see where they are, looking back to make sure nobody's over there. There's a ping over here because someone called a precision airstrike. At least I think it was a PA. Yep, here comes the PA. I don't know why they called it there, but they did when I see someone. So I'm just trying to like kind of stay hidden. Don't let them know where I am. And I'm waiting for zone pull, and zone pull is not good for me. If zone would have pulled back this way, back towards decon, I would have been awesome. But it's pulling in a direction that I basically have to go straight towards them. And I don't have a lot of cover from here until the next zone. Basically, once I get beyond this wall, I'm kind of screwed. So I need to try to make a move here quick. I see this guy who's kind of standing still here, and this is kind of risky. I have an option of, do I get a little bit closer and try to get a more kind of like sneaky, subtle for sure kill? Or do I try to line up my shots and get a clean kill here? So I try to line up headshots, almost get him. This guy's probably 1, maybe 2 bullets away from death. But unfortunately, on my AMX build, I'm running a compensator. I'm not using a suppressor. So now they know exactly where I am. So I've got to move. If I stay here, I'm going to get surrounded because it's going to be a 1v3. So I've got to move. I don't really have a gas mask, but I do have 3 stims because of that munitions vest that I had looted. So I'm going to pop my stims. I'm trying to peek and see if I can get a quick down. I see this guy right in front of me here. He's kind of up alone and he's like kind of wanting to play aggressive here while the other 2 are sitting back. So we go back in, we stim to get kind of closer to full health. We're able to ego chow out, got to stim again to get our health back up. So now I know at this point it's a 1v2, but unfortunately I've kind of mistimed this zone play because the zone is still, it's too far back. If I run up around this way to the left to get up here, I'm probably going to die. I'm probably not going to have quite enough time. But if I just run straight forward, then I have to take the fight now. Okay. So basically I'm recognizing, I'm like, you know what? I don't have time to make a gas play. We have to go. We have to kind of just send it for the best. We hit good shots on this guy. At this point, it's down to a 1v1 because 2 of them are down. I don't really know where he is. When I decide to kind of just slide out into zone and hope he's not looking when he starts taking shots at me. Now, thankfully, he misses a bunch of shots, and I think you right there, you can see him start to reload. He forgot to reload or something like that, which completely saves me here. So I'll kind of play this raw so that you guys can see it. Hit the stem, challenge back out, re-challenge with the stem, get a knock immediately to cover, stem again for full health, get number 2. Thankfully, this guy misses some shots and forgets to reload. Then all we gotta do is finish up, clean up. Definitely got a little bit lucky on this last guy, but regardless, still made some solid plays to put ourselves in a position. And regardless, this was a, somewhat sweaty lobby. I still died 3 times in this game to things that, I could have played better. But the point is, if you make these smart decisions, if you isolate your gunfights as best as you can, you absolutely can still have very, very good games. It's all about playing smart and making those good decisions. If this guys helps you, make sure you leave a like, subscribe for more, check out our stream here on YouTube or Twitch. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.